Hell yeah, it's legit.
Yo, what's up? We're back for another Break Free Worldwide podcast. Special edition. We're at the notorious IBE right here in Heerlen, Netherlands. And special guest for today is the one and only Mr. Crazy Legs himself.
We Puerto Ricans and Mexicans.
Jeremy.
Puerto Ricans and Mexicans rocking out. That's right.
So, as you can see, we're inside the one and only exclusive studio, our hotel room, making things happen.
Yes,
but, yo... Legs, we wanted to get you on the show and just kind of just pick your brain on so many different things, man. And
whatever's left, man.
Yeah, exactly. So,
leftovers.
Number one thing is we want to tell you, man, just thank you for everything that you've ever done for breaking and continue to do, and for hip hop itself. And very honored to be here with you. And we tell you this all the time. We don't just say this just to say it, but we tell you that all the time, and we mean it. But today we just kind of wanted to just pick your brain and go into the thoughts of, like, your thoughts in terms of, you know, number one is, what is the difference between, you know, breaking, let's just say in the 80s to where it is today? Like, what is the number one difference that stands out the most?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. You do your part as well. What you do is completely amazing with Break Free.
Appreciate it.
So much props to you and the whole staff. It's amazing to see this young dude from when I knew him to just like a few years back. I'm like, this dude is getting his business done, and he's like formatted. And
look how he's sitting, bro.
And yeah, I mean, you know, he's showing off his socks. You know, when you got socks, you got to work them. So that's really dope. Compliments to all you guys and your whole staff.
Yeah.
I think the difference is one that it's people think that it was bigger back then when it's actually bigger now. And the fact that we become more self-sufficient as a community of people throwing events for our own community, where back in days, you know, you go on tour, you're being presented by some random dude who's probably going to end up robbing you and all this other stuff.
Right.
And you know, so there's a certain empowerment that's happening right now. Right now, specifically right now, I think, like compared to when I started in the 70s, it's cool to see women back involved. And what we just witnessed with IBE yesterday, I felt like I had the opportunity to witness a new phase of dance within hip-hop, and by watching all those women on that, I guess, the level of battle intensity that was going on yesterday. Yeah. I was like, wow, it's happening right in front of my face. I'm watching this. This is so dope, man. So I was really happy for them. There was a point where I almost cried, man. I swear. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. So I was happy to see that, and I think women are making an major statement right now.
Yeah, I think that's really important. You're starting to see a lot of the B-girls step up and really push that women empowerment and really stick to their guns on that. So,
you know when I knew it was really real? When I went to the B-girl room today, and it smelled just as bad as the B-boy room. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess there is equality. Yo, because you know B-boys be like needing like deodorant sponsors. I went in there and I was like, oh, they can work in here.
We gotta figure that out collectively. We gotta figure that out collectively.
That's gonna be an across the board issue that we have to figure out. By men.
I agree. Yeah.
So, like, based off what you're saying right now, you said that when you guys started, like in the 70s, early 80s, or whatever, there was more women involved.
Yeah,
in the sense of like dancing.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you believe, or you know, that there was a phase where they just kind of started dying out, you know.
Even in the 70s, like any major crew battles, whether it be Rocksteady crew, in the 80s, Rocksteady crew, Dynamic Rockers, New York City Breakers, Scrambling Feet, all these other crews that existed back then. Cosmic Breakers, Rocksteady was the only one to have a real deal B-girl on the front lines. Her name was Headspin Janet. And when we filmed Beach Street, we actually filmed Beach Street with two people that we would normally not have as our primary squad, and that was Doze and Baby Love. Doze was down with us for Graffiti and Up Rockin'.
Yeah.
So, you know, 2 weeks after we filmed Beach Street, we were kind of like pissed off because our management was like, nah, you did the record, so it should just be the people who are on the record. I'm like, oh god. So
direct.
yeah, so we ended up battling them 2 weeks after at a place called First Class, and Headsman Janet was not there because she was a girl. It's just like, yo, this girl, like, she's dope. What's our dopest squad that we could put in front of this other crew? And she had to be there, and it was no test run or anything like that.
Yeah,
she was ill.
That's dope. Yeah, it's
And
great.
she'll beat you up.
Yeah, yeah, especially in
like,
the 80s.
For real though.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think at one point I remember, like, just even from like the late '90s, early 2000s, you know, people would, you know, talk about B-girls, but there was still very little of them. They were out, but there was still very little of them. Now, dude, they're better than B-boys. Like, they're coming out the woodworks, and they're entering everything. I mean, you got girls like Ami, Logistic.
The diversity is in their styles of dance, and their ability is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Better than B-boys. A lot of the girls dancing now are pure better dancers than a lot of the B-boys.
Well, I think breaking has always been like a sign of the times, and even outside of breaking, there's been a huge movement of feminine empowerment and women empowerment. So you're seeing that in the breaking scene.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, with that being said, I know the growth is real. The growth is real. There's a ton of B-girls taking over the scene. And like you said, it's beautiful to watch because, you know, when you see, you know, just passionate individuals, especially the women, take charge and they kind of own up and they put their foot down, it really makes a lot of the B-boys shake. I've seen it firsthand. And I've seen even B-boys kind of look at certain B-girls, be like, let's just say from a battle standpoint, I see, and they kind of like underestimate them, and then the girls just smoke them.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that more and more today, and I always tell everybody, I'm like, yo, these girls are crazy. Watch out for the girls. But,
I always felt like B-boys taught girls how to break as girls and not teaching them the art just for the sake of the art. And they kind of would just push them off to the side, give them a little something, but never really challenge them and tell them they were whack when they were whack. You know, me, I grew up, if I was whack and my moves sucked, they would just be like, yo, dude, yo, that's horrible. One of the sayings I'll never forget is like, yo, that's hurt. You need to put a Band-Aid on it. And basically my whole body, because what I did was so bad, like they just, you know, sent me into critical care. But I don't think B-boys, for the most part, were as hard on B-girls or gave enough attention to girls who wanted to be B-girls.
Like special treatment, you know.
No, they didn't. They didn't give them special treatment, and that's the problem. Maybe that's why, you know, when they were looking for that mentorship, they didn't really get it full on because B-boys just wanted to rock out with B-boys, and I always felt like just not fair.
So going off this, how do you feel about, like, because one person in particular that stands out, let's just say like Maka, she stands out to me because she's really big on pushing like certain verbiage that stands out, like a lot of like the B-boy scene, you know, just saying the B-boy scene, something like that. It's something that I'm used to because I'm a B-boy, but it's a breaking scene that includes B-boys and B-girls.
I don't know if you noticed, but every time I've said something, it's like when I speak in a general term, I say B-boys and B-girls all the time.
Yeah, and so I try to do that as well, and it's something that I'm learning as well. But like, how do you feel about it? So like, when you tell people like this is called B-boying, I know a lot of people.
I don't do that anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At one point, a lot of people were using B-boying. This is the dance is named B-boying.
Yeah. But
it's breaking. You know, I think breaking is much more universal. You know.
And here's the thing, like, I think it's weird because breaking and like B-boy and B-girl, it's like you have a feminine and masculine, like in Spanish.
Yeah.
In Spanish, we have a lot of feminine and masculines, and then even like in describing in general terms, it's still the masculine.
Right.
Which is
for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's something that a lot of cultures have to work out within themselves, and I checked myself years ago on those terms.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know, because there's, you know, especially because we've always had dope dancers in Rocksteady crew, women. So, you know, I couldn't say we're a B-boy crew.
Yeah.
So I was already used to checking myself on that.
Yeah. No, I think it's important, especially, you know, in today's kind of generation of everyone pushing, you know, this whole gender equality, women empowerment, everyone pushing that. So I think as leaders, the people that are standing on these bigger platforms, it's important to watch their vocabulary and what they're saying, because we got to acknowledge everybody. You know what I mean? We got to acknowledge everybody. And so, hearing some of the girls speak even earlier today and through the past few weeks from just traveling to different events, I'm like, man, I got to do a better job of like including them, because it's important.
You know what was ill about yesterday's dance, the competition, was that the host never had to mention, yo, these are the women, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. What they did on their own said, we are the women.
Yeah.
With it, and like normally people are like, oh yeah, the girls are going to get down on the girls. We're past that now. It's just like, yo, there's going to be a battle now. Boom. And all you just see when they go out there is just strength. It's just dope.
Yeah.
So what are the differences, would you say, like, other than that, what, from back then until now, especially from you, I'd be curious to hear.
There's less violence now. Yeah. You couldn't be like Free Willy with your mouth back then, because, a lot of people think that because of New York City Break is saying on TV, we started breaking because we didn't want to fight anymore. That was just coached or something by Michael Holman. I'm not sure, but that was like not the truth at all, because going into a battle against another crew was one of the most dangerous things you could do, because if something jumped off, you already knew that the other side were stick-up kids, and so were people on your side. So
that's crazy.
There weren't fights in battles.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like...
going deeper into some of the, do you see things nowadays?
It's peaceful.
Do you see like Gangsters as like fronting? Do you see
that?
Like,
I call it theatrical thuggery.
For real, yeah.
There's a lot of theatrical thuggery, because a lot of people... when I was in Houston, there was a situation, I'm not going to name names, but dudes were acting a little wild in a cypher, and then on the sidelines, when they were talking to each other, they had this intense intellectual debate. And I was like, and I went over there to make sure that nothing was going to jump off. And
nothing was going to jump off.
Nothing was going to jump off.
Nothing was going to jump off.
So there is a fake theatrical thuggery, and I think people think they have to be perceived a certain way, because a lot of people who came up when I came up were really raw. So when we were always ready to fight, and we did fight a lot. So when we were dancing, that part of us was always there.
Yeah.
It wasn't an act.
Well, I mentioned that earlier in the talk show. I said, man, my biggest like pet peeve is like, there's too many people trying to be gangsters, and I'm like, stop, you're not a gangster.
Yeah, but I mean, let's go to who started that.
Yeah, you guys did. You
no, not me. Not me. I never promoted that. No.
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 All right.
I'm not even going to go there right now, but there is a certain group of people pushing the idea of gangsterism, B-boys.
Gangsterism.
And, there's these gangster B-boys. And it's like, yo, they're not gangsters. I know some of them. Some of them are like college students, and they're graduating or are about to graduate.
Hey, at least they got an education.
They got amazing jobs. But when people see that, the young kids, they think that, I got to be ill with it.
Imitation.
And if you bring that illness to the wrong person on the streets, because of some person who's supposed to be your mentor, and you catch a bad one, it's not cool, man.
No.
And like a lot of dudes don't know how to fight.
And then you guys, like on that note, you guys experienced a lot of this stuff. I'm sure, like growing up, you guys probably got robbed, jumped.
No, let's not get crazy. Now, I never got robbed.
Okay, but were you doing some of that?
I was robbing people.
There you go.
I was robbing people.
Maybe you were on that side of the world.
We were walking out. I mean, Rocksteady crew was 500 deep.
Yeah.
We were probably for a B-boy crew, for our time, there was no crew bigger than us. But we also a B-boy B-girl crew. But we also had Rocksteady rollers, Rocksteady artists, Rocksteady kids. We had the Rocksteady Webble dancers. We had so many different facets of our family that made this huge group.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know y'all were that deep.
We had like a secret crew that we went by as another name, because that's the name we did dirt under. Because we didn't talk about the bad things that we did. We just did them. And a lot of times it's because we were hungry, man. Like, a lot of us grew up in poor families, and it's like you're on welfare. Your mother buys food for 6 kids. 2 weeks later, with 6 kids, that food is gone if it lasts 2 weeks. Now you're waiting another 2 months for a welfare check to kick in, and then your mother's getting credit at the store. So it becomes survival
Yeah.
because you want to be out with your boys. You hang out far from where you live, and then when you get home, there's nothing really to come home to. So you go catch a Vic in Central Park, Victim, or West End Avenue or Riverside Drive, or you need a coat. You try to catch a goose down. You got to go do that because you don't really have the funds, and you're not gonna get the funds, and you're like 15, 16 years old, and you're cold, and you're hungry, and you're poor.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of survival stuff. So when I say we did bad things, it's not because we enjoyed doing bad things. Because once we were able to take care of ourselves and pull ourselves out of it, we took care of ourselves, and we deaded that stuff.
Yeah, you did.
But that
what
was
you had
your
to do.
foundation. Like, that's where your style of breaking came from. You know what I'm saying?
My
Like,
style of breaking is just who I am as a person,
Mhm.
you know?
you know, born from
And
those
yeah, it
circumstances.
is. So when people ask me about, what's, style and all that.
It came up earlier, right?
Yeah, it's like, nobody has ever taught me style. I don't
Yeah.
teach style. In my classes,
That's not a category.
No, I ask people, what do you want to learn? And I hope they say, I want to learn how to dance. I'm like, I can't teach you how to dance. I can teach you movement, I can teach you moves, but it's your relationship with the music, not mine.
Yeah.
That's what's going to
That's a
work
good
for you.
point.
Yeah.
Now, coming from, the background that you come from, I remember meeting your son as an early age, and I know breaking today, it's like a whole different level. There's sponsorships, endorsement
You met my
deals.
son at like 1.5 years old,
Yeah,
too,
that's
in Japan.
That's what I was going to get to, and just seeing recent posts of him graduating from
Yeah.
Cornell University, which is amazing, and he's never like been a b-boy or anything like that. Like, how do you feel like, not only as a parent but as an ambassador of the dance? Like, how do you feel about people pushing breaking or education kind of differently? Like, where do you stand on that? Because I know as a father, you pushed what your son wanted to. You pushed for whatever your son wanted to do, and he graduated an awesome young man from such a great university. I think he's going into finance, right? You said he got a job opportunity at Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
he's doing sales
huge,
analytics. Yeah, it is. So when it came to my son, I told him from an early. Well, number one, I grew up without my father being around. I never had a mentor. Never had anything like that in my life. I never had someone sit down with me and do homework. None of the things I needed. You're being sent to school and you're eating, and breakfast is yodels or some chocolate cake.
Yeah.
That's what it was for me growing up. So I didn't have all the resources and the family structure that anyone would hope for. So I wanted to make sure that my son never had to go through what I went through. So it's weird how my father not being there for me made me a better father. I promised myself that everything my father didn't do for me, I was going to do for my son. When me and his mom broke up, I stayed living in a certain area because I never wanted to miss picking up from school, daycare, anything, or being late. And I don't even, if I was late, it probably happened once or twice in all the years. So, I lived up, I just wanted to live up to the idea of what I didn't want happening, to me when I was younger.
And the reason why I bring it up too is because, when people look at us, they see all the things that we do from social media, and it's all breaking or hip hop related. But they fail to see who you really are behind the scenes. You're a father, you're an entrepreneur, you're this and you're that. And some of these things are much more meaningful that can teach the younger generation of b-boys and b-girls a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I was kind of like bringing it up. I know because I've been a good friend for a long time, and I remember being in Japan, your son being like 2 years old or so, and then seeing that, I was like, damn, that made me feel old. So I don't know what you feel like, dog, but
let me tell you,
what I did?
You know what I did? When I went on that trip, so Masami from Rocksteady, she was in Rocksteady. So one of the places that we had a gig, I left maybe 30 minutes before we had to do our thing. I was in a hotel 1 block away. Masami stayed with my son. I went to the club, did my thing, and then came back within an hour. So, I wasn't like irresponsible in terms of doing things.
Yeah, I remember
like
you
that.
voted against this in the finals.
Yeah.
Which brings us into our next topic.
I will never forget.
Oh, but pushing education.
Hold on real quick. Really quick. Funny story. That day in Japan, that's the first time I seen like the breaking battles raise the red flags and the blue flags. And we ended up losing in the finals, me and Little John, right? We got into this heated argument. We were pissed off at each other. John started blaming, oh, you repeated, you did the same moves. And I was like, you repeated, you crashed. We started going off at each other, right?
But is that the one where I have the pictures of that picture of you guys?
Let's not talk about that right now. Listen, so we start going off at each other, right? And like you said, you could walk to the hotel. We weren't that far from the venue, from the club. So we are literally like yelling at each other, me and John, and it's all your fault. I'm gonna blame this on you.
Back then, right?
Yes, I'm gonna blame this on you, right? And so we split up, and then me and John are rooming together. So we're like, fine. We split up, and we leave, and we all go through like different parts of Shibuya. It's a certain like town or city inside Japan or Tokyo. So we split up, and we finally like meet up at the hotel. He's like, "Yo, you good? Yeah, you good? All right, cool. Let's go get something to eat." But we were so mad at each other, and then we went to sleep.
Yeah,
then we figured out. We figured out that hey, you did great. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
it was Leg's fault.
It was Leg's fault. Yeah.
He forgot to vote for us.
Yeah, he forgot.
He raised the wrong flag, and so Masami picked up the wrong flag. She was doing everything that was Legs was doing. She was highly influenced.
So let's go back to your son.
Let's go back to your son because my blood's starting to boil a little bit.
So anyway, now as far as pushing education, my son's mom, like her mapping out game is incredible. I'm not going to sit here and take full credit for anything. You know, I did what my ability allowed me to do financially, and when it came to the game plan. You know, she was the mastermind of it, so I got to give her all the props on that.
That's awesome. You know? That's dope, man. Yeah, I just think it's important for people to know more about us as regular people.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, I've always kept my family life private because I believe that if you're putting information out there about your child who doesn't have a say in it, I think that's not really cool after a certain point.
Right.
So that has to be their choice. And it turned out that my son is very private. So I'm glad I never did that.
Yeah.
I put up a couple of proud moments here and there, maybe 10 throughout social media life.
Yeah.
So, you know, people may not know what I am as a dad because I don't put that out there.
Yeah.
It's not none of that business. I got nothing to prove to them.
And you don't, but that's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to bring light to it, because to be able to see, I remember, again, seeing your son, a baby, and then to where he's at now, it not only from the mother side, but like you said, you're a supporting figure too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been there the whole ride.
You know, a lot of people may think that you're an a-hole, but you're actually a good guy.
No, I mean, and I just tell them, no, that's Moy.
But yo, man, thank you for doing this last minute. What time is it right now?
I don't.
It's like
don't
2,
care anymore.
It's like 2. Yeah, it's past
time.
2 a.m.
It's that time.
I walked away from the jacuzzi to come up here.
And actually, I'll meet you there, bro. What's up? Good?
No, it's in my room, bro. What are you talking about?
Yo, Crazy Legs, dropping the knowledge.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Showing love. Thank you, man. Appreciate all the love.
Yes.
Tune in again. We got more guests coming in. Break Free Worldwide.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.